Well, in this gospel of today, Jesus has just come down from the mountain of transfiguration, where he had revealed his glory to his three closest intimate apostles, Peter, James and John. Peter had said, let us build 3 booths here. It is great to be here. He didn't want to come off the mountain. It was so splendid and so glorious, so comforting, so, just full of peace and joy, and who wants to come away from that? And now they come down to the nitty-gritty of everyday life, and straight away, bam, they come up with the daily routine problems and difficulties of being there with Jesus. And perhaps that's what Peter was kind of trying to stay away from. But now here they're in the thick of it, and there's a big argument going on. What has happened? Well, the man who's got his little boy who's demon-possessed with he says he's got a dumb spirit. It's a deaf and dumb spirit. Jesus rebukes the deaf and dumb spirit at the end. And the disciples, the apostles, can't expel it. Now that would have been an occasion for the scribes to kind of pounce on them like tigers. This is our opportunity to belittle them and ridicule them, and you're useless, you can't do anything. And so they avail of that, their inability to do so. And Jesus, when they tell him what has happened and that they can't expel the demon, Jesus shows a sign of, of exasperation. You faithless generation, how long do I have to put up with you for? And then he says, bring him to me. So the reason why they couldn't cast him out was through a lack of faith. Through a lack of faith. As the father himself says, if you can expel him, please have pity on us. And Jesus responds to him, do you mean if I can? Everything is possible to him who has faith. So it is a matter of faith, a lack of it, or a lack of purity of faith on part of the disciples, perhaps a lack of true formation. And that true formation is what deepens our faith. So that aspect, the lack of true deep faith, and also Jesus says, bring him to me. So a man who has faith and true faith knows that without Jesus, you can do nothing. And that's what Jesus tells us in the Gospel of John. Without me, you can do nothing. And perhaps what the apostles were trying to do was just to cast out the demons by themselves, and not actually taking the boy in first place or entering into a spirit of prayer so that God can work more abundantly through them. So that God could work more abundantly through them, bringing the situation to Jesus. And how do you bring the situation to Jesus? Well, precisely through prayer. And that's why Jesus tells them at the end, this is the kind, he answered, that can only be driven out by prayer. So prayer is what strengthens us in our communion with Jesus. Prayer is what enriches us and strengthens us in our faith. So the faith, the prayer, and coming together closer to Jesus, which is the fruit of faith and prayer, is what strengthens us in our combat with the devil, with the enemy of the soul. So we can ask for these gifts now in this Mass, that we can cultivate a deeper prayer life, to be more in the deeper communion with Jesus, to be stronger in this combat with the enemy of our soul, the devil. Amen.